Hey, Flosstube, Sean here. This is Flosstube number 20. It's been a couple weeks now since I posted. I want to thank everyone for your input on my last video regarding the Stitch with Me's, and the general consensus was that you guys didn't. It didn't matter. You guys didn't need to see the full stitching, the camera completely on the stitching while the Stitch with Me is going on, because as most of you said, you're stitching along too and not really looking at the screen. You're paying attention to the stitching and listening to it. So I think I'm going to try that. I think I'm going to do some Stitch with Me's, or at least one, and see how it goes, and maybe more from there, where you'll just see me probably sitting like here, and maybe camera angled down, and I'll just be stitching. You'll see this pile of books behind me because I'm probably not going to get to moving that. But yeah, I'll just be sitting here and stitching. I'll show you the starting point, and then when I'm done, I'll show the ending point. And I'll sit in here and I'll talk about movies or books or whatever I have to talk about, or life or whatever I have to talk about during that Stitch with Me video. And we'll see how it goes. Now I gotta adjust this back up. Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. So I think my plan now is to do Flosstube videos every other week, and then in the weeks between, do a Stitch with Me, and hopefully that'll go well, and that'll just be what we do. Flosstube one week, Stitch with Me another week. So the first Stitch with Me I'm gonna do will go up next week, probably on Monday. Mostly because Sunday's a good day for me to film usually, and I know I can't film on Saturday to put a Stitch with Me up on Sunday. But do let me know in the comments if you think it's better to put a Stitch with Me up on a weekend day versus a weekday day, because I know sometimes if something goes up on a weekday day and you don't get a chance to watch it, you might not think to get back to it, by the time the weekend comes and you want to sit down with a Stitch with Me video. The one that came up on Monday is now far down in the subscription list. So let me know what you think, if Monday's good, or if you think I should try when I can to get them up on Sunday. Saturdays tend to be not good days for me to film. We tend to pack a lot of stuff into Saturdays sometimes. Like this coming up Saturday, we're going to be gone at my niece's, visiting our twin nieces, who will turn 3 in a couple of months. So they're just little toddlers, and that's where we'll be this Saturday. So I won't have a chance to film this Saturday to try and get a Stitch with Me up on Sunday. So the first Stitch with Me will be a week from when this is going up, and so it'll be May 2nd. I think that'll be what the date is that day. And what I'm going to do for that first Stitch with Me, I've already decided. I don't know what I'm going to stitch on that day, but what I'm going to talk about is the Film Independent Spirit Awards. The past couple of years, I have been a voting member of Film Independent, and have voted in the Spirit Awards. You may have seen, if those of you who follow me on Instagram may have seen in my stories, late December, early January, leading into February, my stories. I don't do a lot with stories, but I was posting my ratings of the movies I was watching from Letterboxd. So I watched 37 movies and voted on, best feature, best international feature, best leading male, best supporting male, best supporting female, best lead, best feature female, all those types of awards. So I voted, and along with a bunch of other Film Independent members. And then the award show happened in late February or early March. I don't remember which. And I found out which ones I voted for won, and it was only 2. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is talk about kind of my experience doing that, and what some of my favorite movies out of the 37 I watched were. So that's going to be the first Stitch With Me video next week. So let's get into what I worked on over the past couple weeks. First up is Stolen Harvest, and this is like my third take. I said before, but I realized I didn't say it this time. I don't think I'm going to get the pictures of where I was last time in on this one. I know I didn't last week either. That takes editing, and I don't think I'm up for it today. I've already been doing some video stuff today for my wife for an audition to submit some pieces for for a callback audition that she was asked to submit to. It's not like she didn't go to the original audition, but I think they didn't get exactly what they needed at the original audition, so they reached out to some people, and my wife got an email like last week saying, hey, we'd like to see you at this callback if you're interested and can. So she couldn't make it tonight, so they said, a video submission is fine as long as it comes to us by the end of Sunday. So that's what we were doing this morning. And then because email will only allow like 25 megabyte attachment, and video files are more than that usually, it has just been a process this morning trying to get first I was trying to reduce the file sizes, and that ended up turning the videos sideways. Don't know why, but it did. So then I just had to spend the time uploading a compressed zip folder of the actual files to her as a Google Drive link that she can then forward on to the people, which is a pain. It's a pain, but until emails allow larger file size attachments. Anyway, so yeah, I have a bit of a headache right now. I actually woke up with it, and it's been in and out today because we're getting some thunderstorms tonight and into tomorrow. It's like 78 degrees in Michigan right now, where I'm at in Michigan. So, and I'm sitting here down here in a sweater because it's cold in my basement. It's warm upstairs, but it's still too early to run the air conditioning because it still get too cold at night and freeze up. But so I gotta get back upstairs and run the system fan, but I'm not running it right now because I'm downstairs and it's already cold downstairs. Anyway, rant over. But that's why I don't think I'm gonna get the pictures put in. I just don't want to deal with editing tonight. I just want to record the video, get it uploaded tonight, and ready to go live in the morning. So this is Stolen Harvest, artwork Annie Stagg, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it'll look like when it's done. I'm working up in here, this corner up in here, and I finished this page. So I had like this corner left of this page when you saw it last. So I finished this page, and I just went, since I had enough room on the Q-snap to just work the next page over, what I was going to do was go back up and do the next page over here, and then either continue working across the top row or go diagonal pages. I hadn't really decided. But since the other page fit right here and it was already ready to go, I just went ahead and started the page there, so I didn't have to move things around. So I filled in this piece of diagonal was already done. That was when I was thinking about going for a long diagonal on it and doing it that way. So what I've done is above this diagonal, so this corner here. I'll move that a little closer. So I finished this page and did up in here. Next is Audrey, and just a reminder, this is what it'll look like when it's done. And I finished a page on that as well. I think I can do this. Yep, I can do this with only removing the top. So I finished this page here. This is where the page I was working on. I had a bunch left to go right in here. So I finished that page, and then I started this next page coming down diagonally. So I've put in that and all this, and it's cool, you can kind of see the neck of the guitar right there. So there's the body of the guitar, and then there's part of the neck of the guitar. So that's where I'm at with that. Don't think I'm on the pace. I haven't worked on it in about a week, so I'm definitely not on the pace to finish it by my birthday, but you know, that's okay. I kind of just like picking up, for the most part, picking up what I feel like. Sometimes I feel like just doing a random spin. That's what I pick up, you know. Next is cheese delivery, and I'm working towards 5% finished on that. This this is my new tablet that I was waiting for the last video. It actually came about 20 minutes after I got done recording that video. So this is what cheese delivery will look like when it's finished. And I gotta tell you, once I got Pattern Keeper downloaded, and then I imported, I re-downloaded the patterns into Pattern Keeper and then imported the progress files. Just smooth sailing, just worked perfectly. Here is where I'm at with it. Last time you could just start to see the light coming in, this light fixture coming in. I've finished all the top part of that, gotten into it. I've outlined the outside of that light. Got some more, got kind of connected here, down here. I put a good amount of stitches into this. I haven't worked on it much this week, but the first week I put a lot of work into it. So I've got like, what is it? I've got 1,371 stitches to go until I hit 5% on this. So that's one of my 5%, next 5% focuses. Next up is Big Red Ship of Life. I've kind of pulled this out this month for the Garan Designer Focus, which is Ink Circles and Long Dog Samplers this month. So I was about here last time you saw this. Oh, this is in Pattern Keeper. I can show what it'll look like when it's done. This is what this is what it'll look like when it's done. I think it's because I switched to Excel on here, so it created a whitewash. I had gotten up to about here in this column. I've only worked on this one. I worked on this a bit last night. So I did some down here, and then I started this next column here because, as I said last video, I'm working on this just in the 10 by 10 columns. I find it really easy to work on it that way. So I just finished this column and started up on this next column here. Next up is the Outer Frontier. Chris Ortega, Heaven and Earth Designs. That's what it'll look like when it's finished. I am working on this page right here. Kind of, if I pull that up, kind of from the top of this thing down is this page. This is where I'm at with it. This is the page I'm working on. Last time I showed it, I think I had like this little corner done. So I've gotten a little bit more done on that. And this is one I'd like to see get up to at least 50 to 60% done by the end of the year. I'd love to see more, but I don't think that's going to happen realistically. Next, I worked on, Mermaid. And this is artwork by Elena Lazareva. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And this is what it'll look like when it's finished. And this is where I'm at with it. I actually put a lot of work into this one, even yesterday. I put about 400, 500 stitches into it yesterday. And I've put close to 1,000 stitches into it over the past few days. I had a big white hole up here that I filled in. So I have filled in the rest of this diagonal, a big white hole here, all this down here. Yeah, pretty much all of this down here I've done. So I put a decent amount of work into that. I'm about to hit a bird right here, a silhouetted bird right here. So this is right now where this is at. There's a lot of shades of yellow and orange, but they're blocks of them, so it stitches pretty quick right now. Oh, I forgot. The other thing I wanted to talk about on Outer Frontier. I worked all that, but I also, if you see, I went down and I found the bottom of this page. So I actually did this on Friday, because when I moved the Q-snap to this side, when I finished this page up here and moved this page right here and moved the Q-snap to do this page, it didn't look, based on how many, because there's this page, another full page under it, and maybe another half to 2/3 of a page below that. I couldn't believe that I was going to make it. It didn't look like there was enough room for what was left going down that way. And I knew I even remeasured the fabric, and the fabric looked right. The fabric measured out right. But it just didn't look like there was going to be enough room. So I found the bottom of this page, and then I counted down. I think there was like 100 after this. There's like 136 stitches to the bottom of the project. So I just started counting and marking with needles. I'd count 20, mark with a needle. Count another 20, mark with another needle. Count another 20, move the top needle to that spot, until I got down to where the bottom would be, and I still had about my 3-inch border. So it's going to fit. It just didn't look like it, but I couldn't keep going and then just finish this page and move up, and then get to a point and do several more pages and find out that that something wasn't right. So I had, since I was here, I had to find out. So I had to get down to the bottom of this page so I wouldn't have as much to count down. So that's what I did. Next is Mystique. Artist is Amy Brown, Heaven and Earth Designs. This is what it looked like when it's done. And I put a decent amount of work into this one too. Because what I did, I was just working on this one page. I decided to try and fill the Q-snap. And so I went over to as far as I felt I could comfortably stitch, and then started on my top left to bottom right diagonals. So that's where I'm at with that. Now that is just shy of the second page. I think there's like this column and then one more column, or another 2 columns or something over till it hits the second page. And I thought I'd be able to fit the full second page in, because like on it's a large chart format, which means the page is 65 across on a head. And like on Stolen Harvest, I can fit 2 pages on here. So I thought I'd be able to fit 2 pages on, and I wasn't fitting 2 pages on. I wondered, okay, why can't I fit 2 pages like on Stolen Harvest and not on Mystique? And then I realized this is 28 count, this is 25 count. So it's a little bit bigger. And that's why I couldn't fit the full second page in there. Next is It's About Time. Artwork by Ciro Marchetti. Having Inner Designs. And I put about 150 stitches into this last night. That's all I've worked on it. So I got just a little kind of filled in here, down here a little bit. That might have already been there. So just kind of in this middle spot, and this like light line you see there. So not much work into that. Just kind of felt like working on it a little bit last night, and then I did that, and then felt like switching to Big Red Ship of Life. Next is The Hang's Tree by Chris Ortega. Having Unearthed Designs. That's what it'll look like when it's done. And this is where I'm at with it. I've put a decent amount into this too. I think I was in this diagonal right here last time I showed it, so I finished that diagonal. I've got a good amount into that diagonal. I've even got some going down here from finishing off threads. And this is my other 5% finish, next 5% finish focus, because this is the one I have the most left to do on. So I've got the least and the most that I'm working on, and I have 16,090 stitches left till I hit 5% on this. And the last one that I have to show is Castle Wolves, artwork by Jan Patrick Krasny. This is what it'll look like. And this is where I'm at with it. Not a ton of work. I think I got about 300 stitches into it. So just kind of mostly in this diagonal here. And then spread out a little bit when just finishing off pieces of floss. This one's kind of confetti heavy, so it stitches kind of slow. So that is everything I worked on. So let's go into some stitching haul, and then I'm going to play a little game regarding my coming up stitching. And then when I'm done with that, I'm going to talk about what I've been watching a little bit and show a small Blu-ray haul. So we'll get some other content in here this week too. Take a drink of water real quick before I start this. So, last week I wanted to show the Hades I had purchased in various sales since the last time I had shown stuff. I may at some point do a Hades stash video. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested to see. Everything that I don't have in progress, but is just in my stash of Hade, which is a lot, especially after Facebook freebies. And yeah, I got a pretty big Hade stash. So let me know if you'd be interested in seeing that. A video just of that. But I've got about 8 that I've picked up since the last time I showed. Excuse me, pickups. Pickups as I hiccup. So first I have, it's called Aries, artwork by Ruth Thompson. So here's what that looks like. Let me switch back to OneNote here. So yeah. This one is just fantastic. And it's huge. I didn't realize how big it was. It's not a super size, but it is 625 by 856. It is 535,000 stitches. I didn't realize how tall it was when I bought it. So I think I'm gonna have to do that on at least 28 counts to not have a massive piece of fabric. So that's that. The next one is Athena, artwork by Jessica Elaine. I love this one too. This one's gonna be a start soon. Like, I'm kind of itching to start this one. Then I have, surprise, surprise, a Chris Ortega. It's called Far Away. That's what that one looks like. This one could almost, like, you could almost get 2 quick stitches out of this. Like, each side could be its own chart. Then, when the war in Ukraine started, Michelle at Heaven on Earth Designs put up some charts that were either Ukrainian artists or Ukrainian artwork inspired charts, and all of the proceeds from the sale of just those charts went to help the Ukrainians. One was only up for a short period of time. I think it's already retired. I don't know what the deal with it is, why it was such a short period of time, but I got it, and it's called No Words, and it's a painting. It's actually, I think the painting is on a building in Poland. It's kind of, and it's looking across the sea at what's going on in Ukraine with a tear in the eye and Ukrainian flag colors. I think it's fantastic. So I was happy to get that. I don't think you can get this one anymore. It's actually my back, not like the mock-up of this from the Heaven Art Designs, just another picture of that is my wallpaper on my computer right now. Next I have Octopus with Ship by Dakota Dateweiler, I think is how you pronounce her name. But that's what that one looks like. Love octopuses. Hey, another Chris Ortega. This is called The Call of the Siren. This one is the 5 Faces of Hecate. Not exactly sure. Hecate. I know there's a proper way to pronounce that, and I'm not coming up with it right now. But the artwork is by Louis Royo, fantasy artist. This one, it's not full coverage. The white background isn't stitched, so just her and the the sword on and the ground, the writing on the ground, and then the background colors and stuff are what is stitched on this one. And then I have an Alexandra V. Bach one called Winter. And this is another one I just love. And I'm kind of itching to start this one too. And I think, what's the stitch count on this? yeah, 780, 21 by 31 on a 25 count fabric, so 27 by 37. So it'll fit on the size of 25 count I normally buy, like exactly. It's 27 by 37. So that is the Hades I have picked up, and I missed the I didn't buy anything in the Easter sale until it got a little weird on the Monday. Like the sale ended before it was supposed to, like something went wrong, and then I didn't see that she had reactivated it for a day until the next day, and it was already the reactivation was over, because I did see one I wanted to pick up, and I'll pick it up next time. But I got some physical charts too. You'll notice I said last week that I was probably going to start Raven Queen, my Mirabilia, last week. Didn't happen. But I did pick up the final 2 Krennics I needed for it. So I now have everything floss-wise I need for it. But I picked up some charts too when I bought that. I picked up a Barbara Anna Designs chart called Witchy Dreams. Been wanting to do a Barbara Anna Designs one. And then I picked up the first 5 in a series that's being released by Cottage Garden Samplings. I saw these on Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher's channel. Pretty sure it was her channel. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her channel. But these are the Year in the Woods ones. So we have the fox. We have the swans, number 2. We have the jackrabbit, number 3. We have number 4, the raccoon. And number 5, the ferret. And I've heard that there's supposed to be 12 of these. Yeah, it would make sense, a Year in the Woods, that there would be 12 of them. But those are the 5 that are currently released. I was thinking that I would get a piece of fabric big enough to do them on, like, and put borders around them. But, like, they're 100 by... This one's 100 by 130. And I guess an approximate design area on if I did 40 count, it'd be 5 inches by 6.5 inches. So I guess I could still think about that. Yeah, 5 by 6.5, 5 by 6.5, 5 by 6.5, 5 by 6.5. Yeah, that's because I don't know, because if I do them each separately, then I gotta either get one piece of fabric to do. I would just have to find, because there's different color fabric. Behind them, I think, based on season. If I did them separately on their own things, I would have to, buy all that fabric. And I just don't, because I just don't have a fabric stash like that. I don't have, I'm not like part of any Fabric of the Month clubs. I've looked into 1 or 2, but there's, no spots available on them. So I'm not a member of anything like that. So I just don't have the fabric stash. So I purchase fabric when I want to start something. So now that I read this properly, and they are 5 by 6, basically 5 by 6 stitched area, I think I'm kind of might be back to my original idea of figuring out how I could do them, like either 3 by 4 or 4 by 3, and put them all on one piece of fabric and find a fabric color that'll work for like everything, and stitch them up all on one thing and just have like mini finishes along the way. But yeah, I really like them though, and I kind of wanted, I've talked about it before, I wanted to start getting some smaller stuff in my repertoire instead of all these massive full coverages all the time. So that is my Stitchy haul. What I want to do now is, I had an idea, and I actually had the idea, it was either this morning or last night before I went to bed, on just a little game to play to pick some focus pieces for the next couple of weeks. So what I did is I put everything into Tiny Decisions app. So what I want to do is I want to spin 3 to 5 WIPs to focus on for the next couple of weeks. So these 3 to 5 WIPs I will work on over the next couple of weeks and show where I got to on them. So what I'll do is I'll show where they're at right now after I spin them, which I may have to pause and dig into my bin if one of those comes up. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to spin for a number of stitches. So we'll find out how many stitches I need to put in to the projects over the next 2 weeks. That's going to determine how many I spin for. I set a wheel up for between 3 and 1,000 stitches. If I get like 3, 4, or 500 stitches, I'll pick 5. If I get 600 or 700 stitches, I'll pick 4. And if I get like 8, 9, or 1,000, I'll pick 3. So let's figure out first how many stitches. Of course I closed it. How many stitches? How many stitches I'm going to be doing on each project. $700 stitches. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll pick 4. I'll spin for 4 projects, 700 stitches on each project for next video. I thought this might be kind of fun. So, project number 1. All of my WIPs are in here. All my Sals. I even have in here the one I haven't shown. I even threw my Super Mario one in here. So here's my Super Mario one that I forgot that I didn't show in my WIP parade. It's on 16 count Ada. You can see I've got the mushroom. It's going to be in the shape of Mario jumping up. And there's the question mark block I've got. And then we've got a start on Mario down here. So it's kind of Mario jumping for the mushroom block in the shape of Mario jumping. So we got basically a bunch of sky, a bunch of this blue to do up here. I think might be one of those cloud things up here. And then all the ground is going to be his legs. So I even threw that in there because I do want to finish that. As much like I don't like working on Ada, but I do want to finish that. So for what I say, 4 projects, 700 stitches. Let me mark. I want to mark these in my OneNote as I go so I don't forget. So 700 stitches. Project number 1. This should do non-repeating too. Cheese delivery. Perfect. I need to do that anyway. Okay. So 700 stitches into cheese delivery for the next video. Okay. Cheese delivery might come up because I accidentally closed the program. So if it does, we'll just spin again. Cryptid Sal, which I typed as cryptic. I gotta stop closing this, damn. So again, now if cheese delivery or cryptid Sal comes up, we'll spin again. But I selected non-repeating on this because this is why one complaint about the Tiny Decisions app is the same things seem to come up a lot. So 700 stitches into Cryptid Sal, which I'm going to have to physically count because that one's going to be hard for me to count up because I work those charts on my laptop. I don't need to mark as I go on those. I can pretty much visually see everything. So I just pull the PDFs up on my laptop and I work off my laptop. So I'm going to have to figure out counting on how to count that. But Cryptid Sal, 700 stitches. Mermaid, 700 stitches. Last one. I actually didn't close the program this time. Humble Heart, 700 stitches. Okay, so we've got Mermaid Cheese Delivery. All right. All right, I'm going to pause really quick and pull out Cryptid Sal and Humble Heart. Okay, I'm back. So that was Cheese Delivery, Cryptid Sal, Mermaid, and Humble Heart, all 700 stitches for next week's video. I'll work on other stuff too, I'm sure, but these are going to be some focus, and this could be fun. This could be a fun way to do plans, and let me know what you think in the comments. So I've shown Cheese Delivery and Mermaid. So this is where Cheese Delivery currently is. This is where Mermaid currently is. This is where Cryptid Sal currently is. What I'll probably do is I won't probably go over to the border. I'll probably just work on some of the cryptids. So I'll finish off the Nightcrawler and kind of move on to another cryptid. Hopefully I'll have success counting stitches on this. Because like I said, I do this one on my laptop. And Humble Heart. So this is where Humble Heart currently is. And I'll show what Humble Heart will look like, since I've already shown the two other Hades that came up. This is Humble Heart. So I'm up in that corner there. So we'll throw 700 stitches into that one. So now I have my focus for the next couple weeks. And with some sway way thrown in, stitch what you want when you want, I should have a good amount of stuff to show for the next video. So we'll see how I do with that, and see how that goes. So that's it on the stitching. Television wise, like viewing wise, I haven't really watched any movies over the past couple weeks. I did start a movie, but I haven't finished it yet. I started that Ryan Reynolds movie, Free Guy. He plays a non-playable character in a massive multiplayer online game, and he starts to realize that he can start he starts to be able to make his own choices when an NPC shouldn't be able to do that. And starts to realize the world that he's in. I'm about an hour into it. It's pretty decent. It's fun, but it's not like I was watching it on the treadmill and I just haven't gotten back to it. So it's fun, but it's not compelling me to get back to it and finish it. I've been watching. I subscribe to BritBox and Acorn, which are, I'm a big Anglophile, so I love British television. So I subscribe to BritBox and Acorn, which are ways to get UK television here in the States. And I was doing them as Amazon channels, and I realized that because of the way Amazon separates out, like there's an icon for each season of a show, I wasn't seeing everything that was available to me through the services when I was searching, and that bothered me. Because like on BritBox has Silent Witness. There's like 20 seasons of Silent Witness. So every season of Silent Witness had its own icon. So you'd scroll through Mystery, and then you go through 20 seasons of Silent Witness. And then you go through 9 seasons of Vera and 8 seasons of Father Brown Mysteries. And it would only allow so much going through it that way that it wasn't showing me everything. And there were shows like Bally Kiss Angel that I know are available on BritBox that I wasn't seeing searching through on my Amazon, searching through it as an Amazon Prime channel. So I canceled the Prime channels and I subscribed directly through BritBox and Acorn and are using their apps now, and I'm much happier about it. One thing I started watching, and I've watched the entire first series, and I'm almost done with the second series, is Death in Paradise. Really fun mystery show. I don't know if it's so much the case in the later, starting in season 3, because series 3 introduces a new detective inspector. But the first couple seasons, you're following Detective Inspector Richard Poole, who is just this suit and tie, stereotypical stuffy English guy transplanted to the Caribbean to be the detective inspector at this Caribbean police force. So there's that juxtaposition of him, and he wants to go back home to England. So one of the reasons I want to watch it is because Ardell Hanlon is the third person to be the detective inspector on the show, starting in about season 6, I think. So I want to see his episode. But I want to watch from the beginning, and I'm really loving it. I can watch 3-4 episodes in a row and just love it. I also got back to a show called Shakespeare and Hathaway. It's another like cozy mystery show. And I think it takes place in Stratford-on-Avon. Takes place kind of in Shakespeare's home area, and the private inspector's name is Shakespeare as well, and his partner is Hathaway. I'm on series 2. I might be wrong about his name. I'm not sure. I'm on series 2 of it. It's a fun little mystery show. The characters are great. The ensemble is really good. I enjoy it. So that's what I've been watching. And I did pick up some Blu-rays. Blu-ray distributor Kino Lorber had a sale, and I picked up some things from that. I picked up, this is a documentary series called Women Make Film. It's called A New Road Movie Through Cinema, and it's kind of like the history of cinema and a history of cinema and a explanation of certain aspects of filmmaking using scenes from movies done by women filmmakers. I've watched 3 episodes of it. It's on the Criterion. It's available on the Criterion channel. But I was able to get the Blu-ray set. It is a 3 disc set. It is 14 episodes. I've seen 3 episodes. So it's really good. I really enjoy it. Very, very interesting. Very interesting discussion on the different aspects of filmmaking, and then you see clips from a bunch of movies I now want to see. I picked up a new 4K restoration of Transylvania 65000. This is Jeff Goldblum, Ed Begley Jr., Michael Richards from Seinfeld plays a butler in this. Carol Kane is in it. Jeffrey Jones from the Ferris Bueller movie is in it. Gina Davis plays a nymphomaniac vampire in it. I saw this back in the 80s, and I just remember finding it hilarious. And I was a kid too. I remember really liking this movie, so I snagged it up in the sale. I have a Gambit starring Michael Caine and Shirley MacLaine. Directed by Ronald Name. I should have said the director on this is Rudy DeLuca. It's the only film he directed, but was a well-known comedy writer at the time. This is a 4K restoration. It's got alternate cover art. Has an audio commentary by the director and an audio commentary from film historians Howard S. Berger, Sergio Mims, and Nathaniel Thompson. I haven't seen this. I've always wanted to delve into Michael Caine's earlier works. So picked that up. This is Slack Bay, directed by Bruno Dumont. This stars Juliette Binoche, and I'm trying to watch all of the Juliette Binoche films I can get my hands on. I first saw her in Dan in Real Life, and thought she was great, and she's becoming a favorite actress, and I want to watch everything she's been in. At least everything that I can get my hands on here in the U.S. So this came out in, I'm not sure, 2016. So it's a later Juliette Binoche film. It's got an interview with her and then an interview with the director. So blind buy, but pretty much these are all blind buys. I got 4K restoration of Andrei Tarkovsky's The Sacrifice. This is Russian director Andrei Tarkovsky's final film. So I now have his first film and his final film. This is a director that I want to watch through all their films. I've only seen the first one, Ivan's Childhood, which I have the Criterion edition of. But I was able to pick up, this is the only one that does not have a Criterion edition. I think because Kino Lorber currently owns the distribution rights for it. The Mirror just recently came out, which is the film before this one, on a Criterion edition, because the film rights, the distribution rights became back available and Criterion snagged them up. So I think this eventually might someday get a Criterion release, because every single one of his other films has a Criterion edition. But the distribution rights are currently held by Kino. Then I also got A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. This is directed by Lily Amanpour. Amanpour. Lily Amanpour. I have seen clips from this in Women Make Film. This is an Iranian vampire movie, and I've heard fantastic things about it. So that's what I picked up in the Kino Lorber sale. If any of you are still around and listening to this, I appreciate it. kind of give you an idea and hint into the kind of films I'm interested in and we'll be talking about in my Stitch With Me videos. So that is it for today. Stitch With Me video, my first Stitch With Me video coming next week. And I'll be, so like I said, I'll be talking about the films I watched. I'll be talking about some of my favorite films that I watched for the Spirit Awards in that Stitch With Me. Maybe I'll make one of these spins that I did, the project I work on in the Stitch With Me. Heck, maybe Cryptid. I'm not committing to anything, but maybe Cryptid Cell, because I can use the pattern on my laptop here, and it might be really easy, but we'll see. Other than that, if you've made it this far and hung out for the little film stuff, I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one.